Hi, welcome to the next class on writing in paragraphs. So, we have seen in the previous lesson on the different types of sentences in English. And for today, we are going to learn on how do we write in paragraphs. So, let us begin by understanding what does a paragraph contain. A paragraph normally contains a topic sentence which states the main idea of the paragraph. While it is usually at the beginning of the paragraph, it is not necessarily always at the beginning. It can also be in the middle or at the end of it. Let's do some practice. Let us look at this first exercise and try to take some time to identify which is the main idea. And this main idea will tell you that the sentence is the topic sentence. So let's try. The best trip my family ever took was to New Orleans, Louisiana. We drove there in 2 days. I didn't think it would be very interesting, but I was wrong. We saw the Mississippi River, rode a horse carriage in the French Quarter, and visited a cemetery where everyone was buried above the ground. I liked the food best, especially the New Orleans donuts called Big Nuts. So, which do you think is the main idea in this paragraph? Well, the main idea normally tells you the topic sentence, and the following sentences will be used to describe, to support the main idea. Could the main idea be the best trip my family ever took was to New Orleans, Louisiana? If that is the main idea, then the subsequent sentences will be written to support the trip that the family took, which was to New Orleans. So let's see. If we drove there in 2 days as the main idea, then the subsequent sentences will be talking about the drive in that 2 days. So is that the case? Let us just evaluate the other sentences. I didn't think it would be very interesting, but I was wrong. We saw the Mississippi River. Is this sentence talking about the trip to New Orleans or talking about the drive in 2 days? The trip to New Orleans, isn't it? So let's see again. I like the food best, especially the New Orleans donuts. Well, is this sentence also talking about the trip the family took, which was to New Orleans, or the drive in 2 days? It was the trip, am I right? Therefore, the main idea in this paragraph, or the topic sentence in this paragraph, is the best trip my family ever took was to New Orleans, Louisiana. Good job. Let us look at the second exercise. No one likes to eat with a dirty knife, fork, or spoon. It is important to completely wash all utensils before using them. Clean utensils won't transmit germs and bacteria. They also are more pleasant to eat with. So which do you think is the main idea here? If you say the first sentence is the main idea, which is no one likes to eat with a dirty knife, fork, or spoon, then the subsequent sentences will talk about no one likes to eat with these dirty utensils. Really? Let's evaluate the second sentence. It is important to completely wash all utensils before using them. Well, this sentence clearly doesn't express people's dislike about using dirty utensils. It talks about how important it is to wash the utensils before using them. So let's look at the third sentence and evaluate. Clean utensils won't transmit germs and bacteria. So the third sentence over here is talking about washing and keeping the utensils clean, and not about no one likes to eat with dirty utensils. So, which do you think next is the main idea? Could it still be no one likes to eat with a dirty knife, fork or spoon? Or rather, it is important to completely wash all utensils before using them? I think you've clearly known the answer. So let me reveal to you the answer. The answer is it is important to completely wash all utensils before using them. And the subsequent sentences will explain or express the main idea further. Let's try the third exercise. Many people think poetry is old-fashioned and uninteresting. They don't realize that every time they hear a song sung, they are hearing poetry in the form of song lyrics. Just like many written poems, many song lyrics use rhythm, rhyme, and literary imagery. It turns out that poetry isn't old-fashioned. It's as modern as the latest hit song. So, which do you think is the main idea over here? Let me just give you a few minutes and I will reveal to you the answer. Okay, have you figured? Well, the answer is, it turns out that poetry isn't old-fashioned, it's as modern as the latest hit song. So, if this is the main idea, then the supporting sentences will talk about poetry being not old-fashioned and poetry being modern and as modern as latest hit song. Is that the case? Let us just simply take one supporting sentence and evaluate. Let's see. They don't realize that every time they hear a song sung, they are hearing poetry in the form of song lyrics. Well, clearly, this sentence illustrates or explains or elaborates the main idea further, isn't it? Therefore, the main idea in this paragraph or the topic sentence in this paragraph is, it turns out that poetry isn't old-fashioned, it's as modern as the latest hit song. And you may ask, why isn't the first sentence, many people think poetry is old-fashioned and uninteresting, the topic sentence? Well, if that is the main idea or if that is the topic sentence, then the rest of the paragraph will talk about people thinking that poetry is old-fashioned and uninteresting, which is not the case. Let's try the next exercise. This is your second last exercise about growing a garden. Growing a garden can be fun, good exercise, and will provide fresh fruits and vegetables for the gardener. It is interesting to watch the seeds pop their heads above the soil for the first time. It is sometimes hard to believe that a little seed can become a large vine or plant in just a few weeks. Planting the seeds and pulling weeds are good exercise for everyone. Then, after watching the plant grow and produce, the gardener ends up with delicious tomatoes, beans, or other yummy produce from the garden. Let us take some time to identify which is the main sentence, or the main idea, or the topic sentence in this paragraph. Is the first sentence the topic sentence? Yes, it is. Growing a garden can be fun, good exercise, and will provide fresh fruits and vegetables for the gardener. Well, the subsequent sentences or the supporting sentences that follow after this main sentence or the topic sentence, we'll talk more about how growing a garden can be fun, and we'll talk more about good exercise that it provides, and we'll talk more about the fresh fruits and vegetables for the gardener. Okay, so if you look at the following sentences that come after this, it clearly does illustrate or paint a clearer picture on what the main idea is all about. Therefore, growing a garden can be fun, good exercise, and will provide fresh fruits and vegetables for the gardener is the topic sentence. Last exercise. Sometimes it is hard to fall asleep. Maybe you're not sleepy, or maybe you're thinking about what happened during the day. You can also lie awake if a big event, like a test or a party, is happening the next day. There are several things you can do to try to fall asleep. You can try counting sheep or just counting, which will keep your mind busy with a repetitious activity. Sometimes listening to soft music or gentle sounds like rain helps. You can even try telling yourself a story, which may distract your mind enough that you will be asleep in no time. So which do you think is the topic sentence over here? There are several things you can do to try to fall asleep. If you see in this paragraph, the topic sentence does not lie at the beginning or at the end of the paragraph, but instead in the middle. And the whole paragraph will talk about the several things which you can do to try to fall asleep, which is very true in this paragraph. Therefore, you have come to the end of writing in paragraph. So what can you conclude? Well, every paragraph must contain a topic sentence, which is the main idea in a paragraph. That's one. Number two, in every paragraph, there are supporting sentences which will help to support the main idea, to paint or illustrate a clearer picture on what the main idea is all about. And lastly, every paragraph will end with a concluding sentence to wrap up the paragraph. Therefore, that wraps up our lesson for today on writing in paragraphs.